You awaken. The alarm clock screams the same piercing 6-hour AM it does every Tuesday. The light filtering through your blinds casts the same tired shadows on the wall. You can already taste the slightly burnt coffee you were about to make and feel the familiar tension in your shoulders as you think about the traffic on the way to a job that pays the bills but starves your soul. This reality feels solid, heavy, and absolute. It feels like a stone fortress, unchangeable and permanent. But that is the greatest illusion ever sold to the human heart. The truth is, this reality you're experiencing is not a fortress, it's a bubble. And right outside this bubble, vibrating at frequencies your senses have been conditioned to ignore, are an infinite number of other bubbles. Imagine you're sitting in a room with a single, old-fashioned radio. It's been stuck on the same static-filled news station for years. The voice of the announcer is grim. The stories are repetitive, and the music is mournful. You've listened to it for so long, you've forgotten that there's a tuning knob. Countless other stations are broadcasting simultaneously in that very same room. There's a classical music station playing compositions that could make your heart weep with joy. There's a station broadcasting thrilling stories of adventure and romance. There's a station of pure, peaceful silence. They are all here now, filling the space around you. They are not in a different room or a different city. They are right where you are. The only reason you cannot hear them is because your receiver is locked onto one specific frequency. This is the nature of your reality. You're not living a life. You are living one version of a life, tuned and broadcast by your own internal frequency. The feeling of being stuck, that relentless loop of the same problems, the same financial struggles, the same relationship patterns, isn't a life sentence. It is a feedback loop. Your internal state, your dominant thoughts, your core beliefs, your emotional home is the frequency. The universe, like a cosmic radio tower, simply broadcasts the signal you are consistently sending out. Most people live and die on the same station, never realizing they were born with the power to turn the dial. The other timelines, the other realities, where you are vibrant, abundant, and deeply fulfilled, aren't waiting for you to find them. They are waiting for you to align with them. So, if all these other possibilities exist, why do you feel so anchored to this one? You've tried, haven't you? You have stood in the mirror and repeated affirmations until your voice was hoarse. I am wealthy. I am loved. I am successful. You've created vision boards so beautiful they could hang in a gallery. You've wished, prayed, and hoped with every fiber of your being for something, anything, to change. And yet, you wake up and the fortress is still there. The static-filled news station is still playing its grim tune. Here's the hard but liberating truth. You are not bound by fate, cursed by bad luck, or being punished by an indifferent universe. You are simply anchored. Imagine your being as a magnificent ship. Your conscious desires, your affirmations and dreams, are the giant, beautiful sails. You point them toward the horizon, hoping to catch the winds of change. But deep beneath the surface, unseen and unfelt, is a heavy anchor. This anchor is your system, your nervous system, your subconscious beliefs, your cellular memory. Your entire biological and energetic self remains synchronized with the old timeline. This anchor was forged in your past. It's made of the time someone told you that you weren't good enough, and a part of you believed it. It's made of the financial anxiety you inherited from your parents. It's made of the heartbreak that taught your body that love is dangerous. These experiences created deep vibrational grooves within you. Your nervous system learned that the familiar, even if it's painful, is safe. The unknown, even if it holds immense joy, registers as a threat. So when you stand there affirming, I am abundant, your conscious mind is hoisting the sails, but your nervous system, vibrating with a deep cellular memory of scarcity, is screaming, red alert, we don't have enough. Stay vigilant. Hold on tight. Your affirmation is a gentle whisper, but the anchor's signal is a deafening roar. Desires and affirmations can't override your core frequency. They are like beautiful paint on a rusty, damaged engine. They can't create change because they are just echoing into the old signal. The universe isn't confused. It's responding to the most powerful broadcast. And the broadcast isn't coming from your words. It's coming from your bones, your blood, your very cells. To change your timeline, you don't need to shout louder affirmations. You need to pull up the anchor. This brings us to one of the most misunderstood principles of creating our reality, manifestation. We've been taught to think of it as a cosmic vending machine. If we just insert enough desire coins, if we want it badly enough, the universe will dispense our order. This is fundamentally untrue and is the source of endless frustration. The universe, the quantum field, doesn't respond to the menu you shout at it. It responds to the resonant frequency of the chef. The quantum field is a mirror. It doesn't have a personality, an agenda, or a preference for who gets what. It is an impartial field of infinite potential that simply and perfectly reflects the dominant signal it receives. It mirrors your dominant vibration, not your loudest desire. This is the critical distinction. You can spend all day speaking words of abundance, visualizing stacks of money, and writing checks to yourself from the bank of the universe. But if, as you do this, your stomach is clenched in knots about an upcoming bill, if your shoulders are hunched with the weight of financial stress, and if your emotional state is one of desperate grasping, lack, what signal are you truly broadcasting? You are broadcasting contraction. You are broadcasting fear. You are broadcasting scarcity. The universe, in its infinite and impartial wisdom, simply says, the dominant signal is scarcity. Here is more evidence to confirm that reality for you. And so, an unexpected expense appears, your car breaks down, or an opportunity falls through. It's not a punishment. It's physics. Think of it like this. You can stand in front of a mirror and say, I see a person who is smiling, but if your face is set in a grimace, the mirror will not show you a smile. It cannot. It can only reflect what is. The quantum field is that mirror. You can visualize a loving, supportive partner, but if you walk through the world with an energetic wall around your heart, emanating an invisible signal of, don't get too close, or I expect to be abandoned, the field will mirror back experiences that match that isolation. People will seem distant, connections will fizzle out, and you will find more evidence for your belief that you are destined to be alone. The universe doesn't give you what you want. It gives you who you are. It responds to the silent, profound vibration you embody, not the carefully curated words you repeat. So, the first question is never, what do I want? The first question is, what am I currently broadcasting? Let's go deeper into the mechanics of this, into the strange and beautiful physics of you. In the quantum world, Before something is observed, it exists in a state of pure potential. It is a wave of infinite possibilities. It is everything and nothing all at once. It is only when an observer looks that this wave of potential collapses into a single specific particle, a tangible event, a person, a circumstance, a reality. Now, who is this all-powerful observer? You might think it's your conscious mind, the part of you that is listening to these words right now, the part that holds your hopes and dreams for a better future. But that's only about 5% of the equation. The real heavyweight champion of observation, the one whose gaze collapses reality around you 95% of the time, is your subconscious mind. Your subconscious is the vast, silent archive of your entire existence. It's driven by deep, primal emotional patterns, ingrained beliefs, and past experiences. While your conscious mind is at the helm, looking at the map and wanting to steer toward the beautiful island of abundant health, your subconscious is the powerful current beneath the ship, a current programmed to steer you back to the familiar shores of just getting by. It does this not because it is malicious, but because it is its job to keep you safe, and its definition of safe is what it already knows. So, you consciously declare, I am ready for a healthy, loving relationship. This is your stated desire, but your subconscious observer, scarred by past betrayals, holds a core belief that love leads to pain. As you move through the world, your subconscious is constantly scanning the infinite wave of potential partners, and through its powerful observational lens, it collapses the wave into particles that match its belief. It will be drawn to people who are emotionally unavailable. It will interpret innocent actions as red flags, and it will subtly sabotage budding connections to prove its core belief correct. It keeps choosing the familiar pattern because, to the subconscious, the predictable pain of being let down feels safer than the terrifying vulnerability of true intimacy. The wave of potential becomes the matter of your life through the lens of what you believe, what you feel, and what you expect on the deepest level. The world isn't happening to you. It is collapsing around you in response to the nature of your observation. Until the observer, the deep, subconscious, emotional self, shifts its gaze, the timeline will remain stubbornly, frustratingly, and perfectly unchanged. Have you ever noticed how the same types of problems or people seem to follow you, no matter where you go? That's not coincidence. It's the physics of the self in action. As you begin this journey of shifting your frequency, you will inevitably come face to face with a powerful and cunning adversary. It is a shape-shifting force that keeps you glued to your current timeline. This force is called resistance. Resistance is the invisible friction that arises whenever you try to move from a lower vibrational state to a higher one. It is the energetic glue that keeps you stuck. Its genius lies in its disguises. It rarely appears as a monster roaring, "Stay where you are." Instead, it disguises itself as your own voice of reason and logic. You decide to start a new, healthy eating plan. Resistance doesn't say, "Don't do it." It whispers, "You've had a really hard day. You deserve that pizza. You can start tomorrow." You feel an intuitive nudge to reach out to a potential business partner. Resistance chimes in with, "They're probably too busy. You should wait until you have a more polished proposal." Don't embarrass yourself. You commit to a daily meditation practice. Resistance manifests as a sudden, overwhelming urge to clean the kitchen, check your email, or scroll through social media, it appears as procrastination, distraction, doubt, and emotional numbness. But what is resistance at its core? At its root, resistance is the body's primal fear of the unknown. Your nervous system is a creature of habit. Its primary directive, handed down through millennia of evolution, is survival. And to your nervous system, survival equals predictability. It has built an entire identity and a set of survival mechanisms around your current reality, even if that reality is painful. It knows how to handle the familiar disappointment, the predictable anxiety, the known struggle. It has a strategy for that. The new reality you desire, one of abundance, love, or peace, is a completely unknown territory. Your nervous system has no data for this. It mistakes the unfamiliar vibration of joy for a potential threat. It equates the vulnerability required for deep love with mortal danger. This creates a profound energetic contradiction within you. Your conscious mind, your soul, is saying a resounding yes to change, to growth, to this new timeline. But your body, your nervous system, your cellular memory is screaming a primal danger, abort mission, return to what we know. This inner tug of war is exhausting. It's why so many people give up just before the breakthrough. They mistake the intensity of this resistance for a sign that they are on the wrong path. The opposite is true. The louder the resistance, the closer you are to a significant shift. Recognizing resistance for what it is, not a sign to stop, but a sign that you are challenging the very foundations of your old reality, is the first step to moving through it. To overcome resistance and consciously tune your frequency, we must begin to speak the native language of the universe. And that language is not English, Spanish, or Mandarin. It is the language of energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything in existence, from the chair you're sitting on to the thoughts in your head, is ultimately just energy vibrating at different speeds. Solid matter is very dense, slow-moving energy. A thought is a very light, fast-moving energy. Your emotions are powerful, vibratory signatures. Think about it. The feeling of shame or guilt is heavy, dense, and contractive. It makes you want to curl up and become small. Its frequency is very low. The feeling of gratitude or joy is light, expansive, and radiant. It makes you want to open your arms to the world. Its frequency is very high. Your posture, your breath, the tone of your voice, all of these things are not just biological functions. They are components of your unique vibrational pattern. Slumped shoulders and shallow breathing broadcast a signal of defeat. An upright spine and deep, full breaths broadcast a signal of confidence and life force. Your life, right now, is a broadcast. It's a symphony composed of your dominant thoughts, emotions, and physical states. This symphony is either in harmony, coherent with your desired reality, or in dissonance, incoherent with it. This is where things like sacred numbers and geometries come into play. These codes remind us that life is not a random, chaotic occurrence. It is a meaningful, patterned dance of energy. Your job is not to control the entire dance floor, but to become conscious of your own rhythm. Are you dancing the slow, heavy waltz of your past? Or are you learning the light, joyful rhythm of your future? By paying attention to your own energy, your emotions, your posture, your breath, you move from being a random product of your environment to a conscious conductor of your own energetic symphony. This is the moment where the real work begins. And it's also where most people take a wrong turn. They hear about frequency and vibration, and they try to perform it. They try to trick the quantum field. They put on a happy face, while a storm of anxiety rages inside. They act as if they are wealthy by spending money they don't have, hoping the universe will get the hint. This is not embodiment, it is performance. And the universe is the most discerning audience in existence. It can always spot a pretender. Shifting timelines requires true embodiment, not a convincing act. You don't fool the field. You become a fundamental match for the reality you desire. Embodiment means you become the version of you who already lives in that desired timeline from the inside out. It's a shift in your core state of being, not just your behavior. Let's break this down. Pretending is faking it till you make it. It's a strategy born of lack, a desperate attempt to grasp at an external result. It's wearing a mask. Embodiment is being it until you see it. It's a state of being born of wholeness, a deep inner knowing that the reality you desire is already yours in the energetic realm. It's allowing your true face to emerge. So, how does this work in practice? Don't ask, what would a wealthy person do? And then go buy a luxury car on credit. Ask, how would a person who is truly abundant feel? What is their state of being? They would likely feel a sense of ease, trust, and generosity. They would not be obsessing over every penny because their dominant vibration would be one of flow and sufficiency. So, the act of embodiment isn't buying the car. It's cultivating the feeling of ease and trust right now with whatever you have. It's breathing, acting, making decisions, and responding to your current circumstances as if the shift has already occurred internally. You live from the future in the now. You don't wait for external evidence to give you permission to feel good. You don't wait for the new job to feel confident. You embody the frequency of confidence, and that coherence draws the job to you. You don't wait for the perfect partner to feel loved. You embody the frequency of self-love and wholeness, and that vibration magnetizes a partner who reflects that back to you. The shift doesn't happen, and then you change. You change, and then the shift happens. It is an internal rewiring that precedes all external manifestation. Are you trying to put on a costume, or are you fundamentally changing who you are at a cellular level? Embodiment isn't an abstract concept. It's a series of tangible, vibrational acts. Let's move away from metaphors and into a practical, grounded understanding. Every state of being you desire, abundance, love, health, has a corresponding physical and emotional form. Your task is to practice living in that form. Let's start with abundance. We often think of abundance as having a lot of money, but its true embodied form is trustful circulation. A person who feels truly abundant isn't hoarding their resources in fear. They trust that more will always flow in. The practice of embodying abundance, therefore, could be as simple as leaving a slightly larger tip than you normally would, not from a place of performative wealth, but from a genuine feeling of generosity and trust in flow. It could be freely sharing your knowledge or time with someone without expecting anything in return. It's the act of letting go, of circulating energy, that signals to the quantum field that you trust in its infinite supply. Scarcity contracts and holds. Abundance relaxes and releases. Your practice is to find small ways to relax and release your grip on energy, be it money, time, or knowledge. Now, let's look at love. Many people want to find love, yet their embodied state is one of defense. Their posture is closed, their gaze is averted, and their energy is walled off to protect themselves from potential hurt. The embodied form of love is openness and vulnerability. It lives in an open heart, which translates to open body language, relaxed shoulders, an undefended chest, a willingness to make eye contact. The practice of embodying love might be learning to receive a compliment fully and simply saying, "Thank you," instead of deflecting it. It might be the act of sharing something true and vulnerable with a trusted friend. It's about practicing the physical and emotional state of openness, which sends a coherent signal to the universe that you are a safe harbor for love to land. Finally, consider health. We might desire vibrant health while embodying the frequency of neglect or resentment toward our bodies. We criticize our appearance, push our bodies past their limits, and ignore their signals. The embodied form of health lives in gratitude and a deep respect for the body. The practice could be starting your day by taking a moment to thank your heart for beating, your lungs for breathing, and your legs for carrying you. It's choosing to eat food not because you should, but as an act of loving nourishment for your physical vessel. It's moving your body in a way that feels joyful, not punitive. These are not metaphors. They are potent vibrational acts. Each time you choose generosity over hoarding, openness over defensiveness, or gratitude over criticism, you are performing a powerful act of energetic hygiene. You are actively broadcasting a more coherent signal to the field. The shift in your reality doesn't happen after you do these things for a while. The shift is happening in the moment you are doing them. You live it first, and the reflection follows. The idea of embodying a whole new reality can feel daunting, even overwhelming. The gap between where you are and where you want to be can seem like a vast, uncrossable chasm. This is where so many of us get paralyzed. We think transformation requires a dramatic, heroic leap, a sudden, life-altering event. But true, sustainable transformation is rarely about giant leaps. It's about small, precise, and consistent acts of coherence. It's about the power of the micro-alignment. A single conscious breath, taken in a moment of panic, holds more timeline-shifting power than hours of desperate, unfelt affirmations. Why? Because that one breath is an act of embodiment. In that moment, you are choosing to align with the frequency of peace over the frequency of chaos. You are taking your hands off the steering wheel of your reactive nervous system and consciously choosing a new state. Imagine your energetic state is a giant ship. Trying to turn it 90 degrees all at once would require a monumental, straining effort. But what if you just adjusted the rudder by one single degree? It's a tiny, almost imperceptible shift. But over a long journey, that 1 degree change will land you on a completely different continent. These are your micro-alignments. They are the 1 degree adjustments you can make throughout your day. An act of generosity when your first impulse is to be stingy. A moment of choosing to feel gratitude for the food you're about to eat, instead of mindlessly consuming it. Pausing before reacting angrily in a conversation and choosing to listen instead. Consciously relaxing your shoulders and unclenching your jaw while you're sitting in traffic. Choosing to put on a piece of music that elevates your spirit instead of listening to the fearful news. These acts may seem insignificant, The ego loves grand gestures and dramatic stories. It will tell you that these tiny shifts are not enough. But the quantum field doesn't operate on the scale of drama. It operates on the scale of frequency. Every single micro alignment done with presence and intention is a powerful declaration to the universe. You are tuning your instrument string by string. You are recalibrating your frequency moment by moment. It's not about the Herculean effort to feel good all the time. It's about the gentle, persistent commitment to making the next most coherent choice available to you right here, right now. The power isn't in the size of the act. It's in the sincerity of the alignment. On this path, there is one guarantee. You will fall back. You will have days where you wake up and the old timeline feels more real than ever. You will get triggered by a family member, fall into an old pattern of negative self-talk, or get swept away by a wave of financial anxiety. You will find yourself broadcasting the old, static-filled signal loud and clear. In our culture of perfectionism, we often see these moments as failures. We think, I've ruined my progress. I'm back at square one. This single thought is more damaging than the initial slip-up because it introduces the low-frequency vibrations of shame and judgment, anchoring you even more firmly in the old reality. But falling back into old loops is not a failure. It is an inevitable and deeply human part of the process. The true mastery of this work lies not in achieving a perfect, unbroken state of high vibration. The true mastery lies in the return. It lies in how quickly, gently, and compassionately you can guide yourself back to center after being pulled off course. Think of it like learning to walk a tightrope. At first, you will wobble and fall constantly. Is the goal to never wobble? No, that's impossible. The goal is to get better at catching your balance. Each time you consciously notice, I'm in a state of fear right now, and you don't judge yourself for it, but instead, you gently choose a tool to return, a deep breath, a short walk outside, putting a hand on your heart. You are strengthening your return muscle. Each time you choose alignment over reactivity, coherence over chaos, you are reinforcing the neural pathways of your new reality. You are teaching your nervous system that it is safe to return to this new, higher vibrational state. The timeline doesn't shift through the perfection of your behavior. It shifts through the repetition of your being. It's forged in the thousands of small, conscious moments where you notice you've drifted and you lovingly call yourself home. So, be kind to yourself. Expect the wobbles. Celebrate them even. They are not signs of failure. They are opportunities to practice the most important skill of all, the gentle, compassionate return. The space between the old you and the new you is not a battlefield. It is a training ground for self-love. And the more you master the return, the less time you will spend in the old frequency until one day the new coherent state becomes your natural default home. To help us master this practice of returning to center, we can use a variety of tools and anchors, but it's crucial to understand what these tools really are. Breathwork, meditation, sacred numbers, mantras, crystals, and sound frequencies are not magic spells that manipulate the universe for you. They are anchors for your subconscious. They are training wheels for your awareness. Think of your mind like a restless puppy. You can tell it to stay, but it will constantly wander off, chasing smells and sounds. The tools are like a favorite chew toy you give the puppy. It gives the mind something to focus on, something to anchor it in the present moment, allowing a deeper shift to occur in your energetic system. Breath work, for example, is one of the most powerful and direct anchors. Your breath is the bridge between your conscious and subconscious mind. By consciously changing the rhythm of your breath, you can directly influence your nervous system, shifting it out of a fight or flight state and into a rest and digest state in minutes. It's a physiological hack that changes your vibrational broadcast. Meditation is the practice of becoming the observer of your thoughts without getting swept away by them. It creates a space between you and your mental chatter, allowing you to choose your state of being instead of being a victim of your reactive mind. It's not about stopping your thoughts, it's about stopping them from controlling you. Sacred numbers or symbols act as pattern interrupts. In a moment of unconscious negativity, seeing a number sequence that is meaningful to you can act as a little alarm bell for your awareness, reminding you to check in with your frequency. 444. Thank you for the reminder. Let me take a breath and return to center. The key to all of these tools is this: the ritual itself is empty without your presence and sincerity. You can sit for an hour in meditation, but if your mind is just planning your grocery list with more anxiety, nothing will change. You can chant a mantra 1,000 times, but if the words are hollow and unfelt, they are just sounds. The active ingredient in every single one of these practices is you. It is your conscious, embodied participation. The tools are not the magic. You are the magic. The tools are simply the levers and pulleys that help you access the power that is already within you. Choose the anchors that resonate with you, the ones that feel supportive and joyful, not like another chore on your to-do list. Use them not to escape your life, but to anchor yourself more deeply into the present moment. For it is only in the present moment that the new timeline can be born. Theory is beautiful, but embodiment happens in the trenches of your daily life. So let's make this incredibly practical. The most effective way to begin rewriting your reality is to choose one old, unconscious pattern you wish to dissolve, and one small, conscious act you wish to anchor as your new self. One in, one out. Start by identifying a recurring, low-frequency pattern. Be honest and specific. Maybe it's the habit of complaining about your coworker the moment you get home. Maybe it's the mindless social media scroll that leaves you feeling empty. Perhaps it's the automatic yes you say to requests that drain your energy. Choose just one. Don't try to tackle everything at once. Let's say you choose the pattern of complaining about your commute. Next, choose one small, micro-alignment, a simple act that embodies the frequency of the reality you do want to create. This act should be something you can easily integrate into your day. It should feel good, or at least better than the old pattern. To replace the complaint pattern, your new anchor could be using your commute time to listen to an uplifting podcast or a beautiful piece of music. It could be a practice of finding 3 beautiful things you can see out the window. Now, you have your daily practice. Every intentional breath, every conscious choice, every gesture made from this new place says to the quantum field, this is who I am now. When you get in your car and your mind automatically wants to start the old story of complaint, the traffic is going to be awful, you consciously interrupt it. You take a breath and you put on the podcast. In that moment, you have done something profound. You have pruned a neural pathway that leads to a reality of frustration and have begun to myelinate a new pathway that leads to a reality of peace and expansion. You have sent a clear, new signal. The quantum field doesn't wait for proof. It doesn't need you to do this for 30 days straight before it responds. It mirrors your present signal instantly. The moment you choose the new response, the field begins to reconfigure itself around that new vibration. Shifting is not a far off event you're working toward. It is instantaneous, happening in the tiny crucible of each and every choice you make throughout your day. The field isn't waiting for you to become perfect. It's simply waiting for your next signal. What will you choose to broadcast in this very next moment? As you continue this practice, you will begin to experience moments, then hours, then days, where you feel you are truly living in your new reality. Opportunities will appear as if from nowhere. The right people will cross your path. You'll feel a sense of flow and ease that was once foreign to you. You've successfully visited the new timeline. But the goal isn't just to be a tourist in your desired reality. It's to become a permanent resident. Sustainability is the key. The initial shift can be exhilarating, but the real work is in the staying. It's in the emotional regulation that keeps your new signal steady, even when the old world tests you, and it will test you. A friend might make a comment that triggers your old insecurities. A bill might arrive that sparks the old fear of scarcity. An event might occur that tempts you back into the familiar comfort of cynicism. This is where the art of sustaining comes in. It's not about building a fortress around your good feelings and never experiencing a negative emotion again. That's suppression, and it's a very low frequency activity. Sustainability is about expanding your capacity to hold it all. It's about being able to experience a challenging emotion or a difficult circumstance without letting it hijack your entire energetic field. You learn to become the calm, spacious container for the storm rather than the little boat being tossed around by the waves. When the trigger comes, instead of immediately reacting and being pulled back into the old timeline's gravitational field, you pause, you breathe, you acknowledge the feeling. There is fear present. Without becoming the fear, you use your tools and anchors to return to center. This is the work. It's in the staying, the returning, and the moment-to-moment emotional regulation that keeps your dominant signal clear and coherent. You're not trying to escape life's challenges. You're learning to inhabit your life as a stable, coherent frequency, no matter what challenges arise. This is true power. It's not the absence of problems. It's the presence of your own centered being in the face of them. This is how you move from visiting your new reality to unpacking your bags and making it your permanent home. Eventually, through this dedicated practice of micro alignments, of returning to center, of sustaining your frequency, something extraordinary happens. You stop doing the work and you become the work. You are no longer consciously trying to shift your timeline. You have become the living, breathing vibration of your chosen reality. Coherence becomes your default state. This is true mastery. It's not a destination of perpetual bliss, but a state of being where your stabilizers are so strong that you navigate life with a fundamental sense of trust and grace. What are these stabilizers? 1. Awareness. Your ability to be the conscious observer of your inner state is now second nature. Micro-alignment. You instinctively make small, coherent choices throughout your day. 2. Regulation. You can feel a trigger arise and lovingly guide yourself back to center with ease. 3. Community. You have naturally surrounded yourself with people who reflect and support your new frequency. 4. Gratitude. This is the ultimate stabilizer. Gratitude has moved from a practice you do to a state you inhabit. Gratitude, especially, is the emotional signature of already having. It's the frequency of reception. When you are truly grateful, you are not wanting, wishing, or hoping. You are in a state of acknowledging the good that is already present. This feeling is one of the highest vibrations you can embody. It sends a powerful, unambiguous signal to the quantum field that says, I have received, I am provided for, all is well. The field, being a perfect mirror, has no choice but to bring you more experiences, people, and circumstances to be grateful for. Gratitude amplifies coherence and solidifies the shift like nothing else. It closes the loop. It is the final and most beautiful piece of the puzzle. You are no longer a person desperately chasing after change. You have become the change itself. Your very presence begins to influence the world around you. You are no longer just sending a signal to the quantum field. You are the quantum signal, broadcast in human form. And so, this journey, which seemed to be about changing the world outside of you, ends exactly where it truly began, with a single, conscious choice inside of you. It's not about waiting for a sign, for permission, or for the perfect moment. The power has been within you all along. The new reality is not something that is coming to you. It is something that is emerging from you. You are not waiting for the timeline to open up and invite you in. You are the one who opens it through the sheer force of your own being, your own embodied frequency. So here is the invitation. Right now, in this moment, not tomorrow, not after you've read more books or listened to more podcasts. Now, make one choice. Take one gesture. Breathe one breath from the state of the you that you wish to become. If you desire peace, take one slow, deliberate breath, and for the 3 seconds it takes to exhale, be peace. If you desire abundance, look around you and find one thing to be genuinely grateful for, and for a fleeting moment, be abundance. If you desire love, place a hand on your own heart, and for one heartbeat, be love. That one act, that single choice made from your new state, is a tremor that rewrites everything. It is the stone dropped in the quantum pond, and its ripples will touch shores you cannot yet imagine. You are not waiting for the story to change. You are the author, holding the pen. So, I have to ask you, what is the one small choice you will make today to begin broadcasting your new reality? What old, familiar frequency are you finally ready to let go of? I'd love to hear your intentions. Thank you for sharing this time and this space with me. I wish you not just health, but a deep, resonant coherence in every area of your life. And if this message resonated with you, please consider subscribing to the channel to continue this journey together. Until next time,